Installing a trolling motor is actually a fairly simple task, but there's a handful of things that you need to think out ahead of time. It's kind of like that, measure twice, drill once philosophy. The first thing is simply mocking the trolling motor up. You want to make sure that the head doesn't extend outside of the boat, especially on a longer shaft like the 60 or 72 inches that are commonly available, because you'll either be hitting docks or your cover won't fit. A multitude of tasks there that are a bad deal. The other thing is I like a removable plate on mine. Again, being able to remove it for service, for storage, any type of warranty work or anything like that. So make sure you mock this up ahead of time. Set it on there, mark it, measure twice, cut once. The next step is after we kind of mock up inside the boat, we want to it's a game of just inches here. We want to make sure we have enough clearance. So using something, a swim noodle, a straight edge, whatever it is, you want to have about 1 inch to maybe up to 2 inches depending on the trolling motor and what the manufacturer recommends, so it will not hit the boat, because the shaft will actually flex in the water and you don't want it to hit the boat. So put something up 1 inch to 2 inches, look in the actual owner's manual of your individual trolling motor, but you want to make sure that you have enough clearance to not hit the boat. Once you have the plate or just trolling motor itself in the perfect location, the next thing you're going to do is thoroughly mark its location. Now I use a combination of electrical tape and something like a China pen to just mark that grid so that we don't change that angle once we either pull the trolling motor back or take the plate off to actually drill the holes themselves and mark. The next step is simply to mark the holes. Now make sure that you can gain access to get a nut underneath there ultimately, or you don't want to drill a hole there. I like to have them on the outer side of the plate whenever possible so that we have a larger mounting surface. In this case, I'm going to drill 6 holes. Next, simply just install the bolts. Once the bolts are in, a large fender washer or 2 on the back side, or something as simple as a piece of bar stock to help reinforce that before you put on a nylock nut. Next, we're going to simply secure the hardware. Because we're using stainless hardware, resist the urge to use power tools because it's very easy to gull or strip the nylock and lock the threads up. So something like a socket and going not extremely fast will make a lot better deal. Next, we're going to simply install the motor on. Just make sure that you don't drag it so you damage your boat. Slide that right on the plate and into position. The last thing is simply, powering the trolling motor. Now, most boat manufacturers are going to pre-run a lead and up to like a junction box, something like this that Ranger provides. But I prefer to have something I can also quick release. So whether it's maintenance, storage, whatever it may be, that I can hook this, take it in and out, switch trolling motors out, whatever. So there's a couple different options to have removable power, but if not, you can always hard mount it with some type of junction box.